Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Raw Politics. It is my hope that you're doing fine wherever you are. I'm also okay. Abraham Kithure Kindiki is a personal friend of President William Ruto. The current DP and the president go way back. William Ruto trusts Kindiki Kithure to the point that Kindiki was his lawyer at the ICC. That is serious level of trust. And when Kindiki had an opportunity of either continuing as the deputy speaker of the Senate or standing with William Ruto during the handshake government of Uhuru and Raila, Kindiki chose to stand with William Ruto. And of course, he lost his position. And so these are friends. They are so close to the point that when William Ruto was looking for a running mate, Kindiki Kithure was among the top contenders. And when William Ruto asked the MPs from Mount Kenya to tell him who among themselves they would nominate to be his running mate, they overwhelmingly voted for Kindiki Kithure. Had it not for the drama from Rigathi Gachagua, where he organized some demos, and in these demos he said, no Rigathi, no Ruto, and considering that the election was a high-stake one and the division in Mount Kenya would have cost the election, William Ruto was forced to pick Rigathi Gachagua because of that blackmail, but with the hope that Rigathi was going to see sense and then change and help him govern the country. Kindiki Kithure didn't react well initially to that decision. He felt like he was betrayed by a friend, but then later he was talked to, and I think based on their rapport and good friendship, he forgot everything and said, okay, let me work with the president. He initially said that he was taking a break from politics, but then he changed his mind and actively participated in helping William Ruto. He ended up being the chief agent of William Ruto. Now, if the combination that elected William Ruto in 2022 was constant, automatically Kithure Kindiki would be the running mate come 2027. It would not even be a debate. But as you know, ladies and gentlemen, Kikuyus are no longer guaranteed to support William Ruto. They rebelled when William Ruto brought Raila on board and by extension, Luos into government. And so they are out there saying they want to punish William Ruto and make him a one-term president for betraying them by bringing in Raila and by extension, Luos into government. So that is the current situation. The region from which Kindiki comes is not guaranteed to vote for William Ruto come 2027. He will still get some votes there, but is not guaranteed to get the majority votes the way he did in 2022. Now, William Ruto will have to get a replacement vote, mostly from Luo Nyanza and Western. And in such a situation, the question we must answer then is, what does the future hold for Kindiki moving into 2027? Will William Ruto retain him as his running mate and hope that he can deliver Mount Kenya? Or will William Ruto replace him with somebody from Western Kenya? That is what we want to look into briefly, ladies and gentlemen, in this video. And if that is a topic that interests you, continue watching. And if you're already finding value in this video, please like it and consider subscribing to the channel. Like I said, Kithure Kindiki is a personal friend of President William Ruto. And he was supposed to be the running mate from day one. Him being the current deputy president is just him getting his rightful position eventually. But will this status quo maintain past 2027? Is William Ruto likely to continue with Kindiki as his running mate? Or will practical politics force him to look elsewhere? And in the event that he does look elsewhere, what does the future hold for one Professor Kindiki? I think, first of all, let us begin with the obvious options for Kindiki Kithure. Kithure Kindiki has 4 options, ladies and gentlemen. One is Ruto retains him and he promises to deliver Mount Kenya. 2, William Ruto retains him and convinces Raila Odinga to support that decision by offering half of government to Raila Odinga. And then 3 is where Kithure Kindiki is not retained. He waits for William Ruto to form the next government and then incorporate him in a junior position, maybe an advisor or even a cabinet secretary. And that is not strange in this country. People have been cabinet secretary, then brought back to advisors. We even have a case where somebody was a CS and then appointed a board chair. So that is possible. The 4th option is where he waits. He is not retained as the running mate. He takes a break from politics and resume after Ruto's term ends in 2032. Those are the options that Kithure Kindiki has. And each of them has advantages and disadvantages. Let us begin with the first one. The first case is where Kindiki Kithure is retained as the running mate, but on condition that he delivers Mount Kenya vote. That has one advantage. He will still retain the status quo, but the disadvantage is it's very difficult to guarantee that Kindiki Kithure can bring back Mount Kenya vote. And why do I say this? I took 4 days in Meru, and during that time, I engaged people. And Meru, as of now, is divided 50-50. There are those who are so loyal to Rigathi Gachagua, but there are also those who are loyal to Kithure Kindiki. But when you come to places like Kirinyaga, Nyeri, places like Murang'a and Kiambu, you find that majority of them have already decided that they want to punish William Ruto. And so they see Kindiki Kithure, even though he's from Mount Kenya, they see him as a traitor, someone who accepted to work with an enemy. And that is why, by the way, even though Kindiki Kithure is part of Mount Kenya, they still act as if he doesn't exist. They still feel like that their position for the deputy president was taken away, even though the person sitting in that position currently is from Mount Kenya. So that is what the feeling is. And that makes it very difficult to guarantee that Kindiki Kithure can deliver the Mount Kenya votes. Though you never know. This is politics and things change. So if things change and Kindiki is in a position to deliver Mount Kenya, wonderful. But as things stand today, he might deliver a portion, but not the majority. So the advantage is he will still remain in a very powerful position, running with Ruto as his running mate. But if he doesn't deliver Mount Kenya, if that is the goal, and then Ruto has to now abandon the replacement vote, which is Western, my friends, chances of William Ruto winning a second term become very limited. That means they fail with him. The second option is where he is retained as the running mate. There is no condition of bringing the majority of Mount Kenya votes. He is just to bring what he can bring on board, maybe 30%. But Raila Odinga is convinced to support that particular arrangement. So if Raila is convinced to support that arrangement, ladies and gentlemen, then Western, that is Luos and lawyers, is guaranteed. They will still come and vote here on the condition that he is given a half of government, 50-50. So ODM and Kenya Kwanza will share 50-50, everything 50-50. That, in my opinion, is the best arrangement for one Kindiki Kithure. The best arrangement, the best outcome he can hope for, where he's retained as the running mate, but at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we still get a replacement vote. So that even if he just brings 30% from Mount Kenya, Ruto is still going to win. The third option for Kindiki Kithure is where he is not retained as the running mate, and he waits to work as a junior in Ruto's government. In my opinion, it will really demoralize him. And also there's one challenge. On what grounds will he be asking the Mount Kenya people to vote for Ruto? Because even if he went to Meru to ask them to vote for Ruto, or he succeeded convincing some Kikuyus to vote for Ruto, it will be on what basis? Because they will be asking themselves, why would we vote? It will vindicate Rigathi Gachagua. It will be seen as if Rigathi Gachagua was right that William Ruto is done with the people of Mount Kenya. He doesn't value them. He has moved to Western. So it has that disadvantage. It denies Kindiki Kithure the political power he currently enjoys. There is no way he can go to these people and tell them, let us just support Ruto, I will be a minister, or he will give us this. People will be like, you are coming from a deputy president to become a minister or become an advisor. It won't motivate people. I'm not saying that it is impossible for people to vote for Ruto even if they have nothing there, but it's not a very good deal for Kindiki Kithure. The third one is where he waits. He's not named the running mate. He waits and reinvent himself come 2032. The problem with that is while you get a chance to reinvent yourself, it is very difficult if you stay away for an entire 5-year or one-term period. It's very difficult in politics to reinvent yourself, especially when so many things would have changed. Maybe the terrain, politically speaking, would have changed by that time. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to tell you that in my opinion, Kindiki is in a dilemma. And whereas he's in a dilemma, there are only two options that will work in his favor. One is where Raila Odinga endorses Kindiki Kithure as Ruto's running mate. Okay? Meaning he's going to deliver his block. He doesn't demand that he wants the running mate position. So Kindiki remains there. He can now use this authority to go and convince the Mount Kenya people to vote for them, meaning he will say, you see, he has retained me as the running mate. So we don't need to let William Ruto down. Don't let me down, people. He can get a significant amount. Not the majority. Majority is not guaranteed. But he can get a significant amount of votes and bring them on board, ladies and gentlemen. The other option that may work for him is where he is not picked as the running mate and he waits to reinvent himself in 2032. That is what I wanted to share with you about Kindiki. If you have a different view, if that is how you think this 2027 might turn out, feel free to share in the comment section and let us engage. Otherwise, if you found value in this video, consider liking it, take a second and subscribe to the channel. And in case you want to know who between Rigathi Gachagua and Kindiki Kithure has real influence in Mount Kenya, watch this video.